Hello, hello. Okay, back online. So, I'm in the mood to make some open source. Check on my video here. Check on my audio. I could just. So, good. Works. Okay. Once again, this is Zoom etiquette, Zoom professional standards, not YouTube professional standards. I'm here to document every keystroke of this project, and I'm glad to get started. So let me review. It's been a few days since I was able to put time here, and I want to review, I guess just review to myself because I think I have some fun ideas for basically a deadline. So let me I just turned on my computer here. Chrome, is it? Thank you. Okay. Um, there it is. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, I guess just to review totally top down, um, this is a open source. Mostly, this entire project just sprang from my enthusiasm to just kick off an open source project involved in LLMs or AI of some sort. That's really all it came from. At work, I've been writing lots of software which is not open source, and this is the first opportunity I can just um, start something like this. The original idea was, can we be inspired by Claude Code? The way Claude Code like sort of inhales your 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 context, your code and all this, and then sort of exhales um, this this output, this really quality output, this useful output, let's say. To draw inspiration from that kind of concept, this agent here in the center is the question I'm exploring is, can the same happen for DevOps? I think as a practical matter, the answer is yes. There are indeed cool projects out there like Open Hands, and I think others which I think are far further mature and asking similar questions. Uh, I launched this more or less right the first kind of moment I saw Claude Code. I basically started this project with a giant list of notes of what I thought might be fun. Um, Only thing though is that's still, I think, an exciting question. I have no doubt there's development all through the profession, all through the community. Um, but a lot of this is kind of pushed down the stack, I'd say, at the moment for my side quest. And the side quest is a far more practical, spin off of uh, this broad, DevOps, extremely broad DevOps question, and that's way more practical. So let me uh, go to that because that's more or less the rest of this. The point is, I want to finish the side quest. So the side quest is Chatfield. So Chatfield is just practical software package to solve a specific problem that I believe is obvious and not solved, which is, as a developer, I want to define a basic data model, which is just sort of various pieces of information. For this example, that's what does a bug report look like, or any situation where we want to gather information from a conversation. I want to say from a person, but it's a chat system, and so that's the point. It's especially that it's a conversational capability. Chatfield chats to your users for you as a developer, and it populates your fields for you. This is the entire, I believe this executes as is. You define I don't like pronouns. The developer defines an object. My goal is this can be done, either in the source code at compile time, if you like, and also arbitrarily at runtime, potentially. Not potentially. That is a goal. Next, you instantiate this interviewer object, and the interviewer is sort of responsible for populating this report, right? And then we loop. As a developer, the developer's experience with Chatfield is the DX. The DX is Cyrano de Bergerac. It's exactly Cyrano de Bergerac, right? Tell me what to say. Here's what I want to accomplish. You tell me what to say. Chatfield, the interviewer. So I have this go method right now. There's this go method, and there may or may not be an initial user input at the moment. This is kind of a simple mental model, or a simple API. And then the interviewer returns, you should say this. This is a string of content only. It's not a complex data type. It's not a data type I invented. It's not a Chatfield message object of any sort. It's a string. I think it's never null. It's always a string. The conversation is always ongoing, potentially. So then as a developer can then use this string any way he or she likes to present the UI, right? I'm going to avoid pronouns. The interviewer has provided, to this application, the thing to say. The application renders it, if you like, to the user. The application also collects subsequent user input, and that is the entire sort of responsibility of the application. All UX, all IO, with the user, if you like, is the user's is this application's purview, this developer's purview, and the interviewer is if you like on the back end doing this. Of course, meanwhile, the interviewer is saying, here's what you say, the user input is provided back in the loop. And so that's how the conversation happens. If you like, the application code here loops around. And it says, okay, we're going to go again, and here's what the user replied to me, right? And then the interviewer will say, well, on the basis of that reply, the thing you should say now is this message here. That is the entire kind of core loop. And so and of course, the interviewer is asking, hey, tell me about your bug report in this example. The interviewer is driving to resolve all information we wish to gather from, let's say, from the human, from the conversation, from the counterparty. In fact, really, for Alice and Bob, Alice A for Alice, and A for agent. So Alice is the agent, and then Bob is the other side, really, the user, the human in most cases. That is the fundamental point of it. That's why I believe this could be shipped in 2 languages. It's a real simple system. Okay, I literally haven't thought of this in many days, so I'm kind of just reflecting back to myself. So I'm kind of going real slow. So then, oh, hello. Hi, thank you. People are chatting. I love one experiment of this open source project is already um, successful, which is I really enjoy this chat conversations from people and encouragement. I love so much of the open source community and profession and the process. It's so impressive. It's so bizarre. But this is a new thing, so thank you. This is the immediate feedback. As it were, I'm still in kind of stealth mode as far as the pip community and the npm package community is concerned. So I haven't shipped yet. So it's really cool. It's really great to get feedback. Oh, that reminds me, I will set a regular schedule. I think I will spend maybe an hour in mornings in the U.S. On this for the week. I will update my, I guess, YouTube information accordingly when I lock in the schedule over the weekend. Okay, so and I want to yes, so I'll carry on. So then, of course, it gets more rich, it gets more complex. Although at the moment, this validation is vaporware. At the moment, I don't think it's definitely not implemented. It's definitely not implemented. But that's the inspiration. I think actually Hint is not. Yeah, Hint is not implemented either, for sure. Doesn't matter. I feel great. I don't expect unexpected setbacks implementing these. So we'll see. Next, I certainly validation. I really should tighten it up. I wonder how much work I should put into running the project. These are all kind of these deserve to be tickets in a proper GitHub project. But anyway, I'll proceed. So next, the part that I love, I don't know if I love it because of the technical challenge that was fun to solve. This is already solved. This definitely all works. This stuff. This is what I more or less rewrote and got to my liking, at least. I don't know if it's great, but I love it. Which is this typecasting. So if I import typecast decorators, we're doing decorators, then all fields have convenient typecasts. In Python, currently these values are subclasses of the string type, which is brilliant. It works wonderfully. So then these little attributes or properties are perfect. They're all pre-computed. The LLM, the moment the LLM ascertains that the conversation, Bob has divulged or has disclosed or has shared his confidence level. Say Bob says, I think it's 50-50. Then if you like it, LLM pre-computes a value, which is this float or real number in this case. And that is readily available to the software developer as a cheeky property. I totally love it. In all of my tests, so maybe I'll run one. I really, really love making this $1 billion computer factor prime numbers for me. Like in the presumably the least efficient possible, like, good way you could imagine to factor numbers. Let's do it. I don't know why, but I really love. I feel powerful, or it feels wrong somehow. What is it? It's my virtual environment. Yeah. Ooh, I'm rusty. Whew. Okay. So then, where was it? I just want to run it. It's gonna ask me it's gonna ask me what is my favorite number, right? Notable numbers. Yeah, we've got some broader bugs. I don't like it mentioning the name of this data set to the user. Okay. Oh, okay, we're doing Cockney rhyming slang. China plate mate. China plate mate. All right, my friend. Right, let's get your numbers sorted. Okay, favorite number. Oh, which we is 97 prime? Is 97 prime? 30, 90. Let's just make an LLM tell me. So I say it's 97. The LLM is computing. Yeah, I need to make a proper repo. I need to start writing down some ideas, making some GitHub issues because I think there's plenty of ideas I wish to capture, but not proceed. Such as I think this could be optimized really, I think easily with LangGraph. There could be a very easy optimization which would say, is there data to capture or not? Something like that. Like just return a Boolean. And if there's no data to capture, sort of quickly respond back to the user with a different answer. And so on. I think there's lots of kind of optimizations to finish early or to use different language models for different things. But this has worked. It's a little bit of lag, but this has completely worked. So having told the it is prime. It's prime. I want to do it again and get a composite number next. Okay. Having told the language model that my favorite number is 97, it did set the field of my object to the string that I wrote, to this string 97. All fields are strings. All fields are subclasses of strings, but the mental model is it's just some strings. It's just people talking. They're always strings. Next, all of the typecasting has happened. Oh, I've never seen this NA, or maybe I have. I think I implemented this NA. Maybe I'm pretty sure I implemented this NA. Don't remember. Don't care. The answer has been typecast to a direct quote of the user. A set of facts has been a subset of all of the possible facts has been returned. The only member of the set is the fact that this is prime. In other testing, I did some other mathematical facts test, I forget, and it turned an odd. It is prime and odd. That's the point. That's the point. As maybe speak, I can't remember even what this was. What the heck was this? It was something to do with, oh, I do remember. Oh, I do remember. It was, I'm testing all of these classification challenges to the model. That's exactly what's happening. I'm challenging the model to classify, and this as maybe speaking is asking to classify the number 97 as either a one-syllable word when spoken in English, or a two-syllable word when spoken in English, or none of the above. And it has correctly classified this as none of the above. This is so awesome. This is going to work. This is super valuable. This is super valuable. The point of it is boring, and a developer will spend 90 seconds or 90 minutes setting up a quick model, and off you go, solving better problems. I think this is valuable. Next, again, it's a member of a set of odd parity. The set of factors is empty. It's been typecast to a timestamp that I made up. Typecast to Boolean, and my personal favorite, arbitrary translation into, oh, did I not have, you can translate to computer languages too. Arbitrary translation of any string, number here is not a great example, but arbitrary translation of any value the user has provided a la carte, right? A la carte. I want it in French, I want it in Thai, I want it in Esperanto. and so on. And this one especially, I really love. I just wrote that myself. That's not like this. This th is a an fr is a more standard nomenclature for a language model. Esperanto is a little more challenging, and traditional Chinese. Nailed it, crushed it. Perfect answer. Perfect answer. I think, I think it is. It looks simple to me. It looks traditional. It looks non-simple. Actually, it's too simple. Now I'm worried. So, and then of course, casting to traditional, as it were, convenient, proper data types in the programming environment, integer and list and so on. So perfect. We can debug it. I guess my session has expired. Yeah. Everybody's rusty. Okay. Is my audio good? I'm still terrified of audio. Good. Audio's good. So we've got tracing set up. So I'm happy about that. Not any more significant experiments. I think I need to do this and or look into something else, but not today. So I think I've pretty much reviewed everything. What I definitely remember. Oh dear, is there Oh, good. Good. Nothing's worse than coming back from a holiday or something, coming back from an absence, and you status and there's uncommitted code. It's like it's so bad. There's a great video. What is it? Viva la Dirt League. Viva la Dirt League. About returning to a video game, like an in-depth role-playing video game after an extended absence and having no idea what's going on and dying. I feel the same. I feel the same, but less exciting. Less exciting. Feeling when I return from a holiday and there's dirty checkout. Okay. So what that means then is there's not great progress. If I'm going to jump into it here, my goal, let me kind of think out my goal. Kind of couple things. The syntactic sugar to define the data model, I want to nail it. But I don't have any strong opinion about it. The current syntax is arguably quite bad because it is breaking. This would be like failing. This compiles, but this would be considered improper Python code. So it may be kind of unhelpful and distracting for a different reason. My original idea was what's the minimum syntax, and I need to decorate. So I needed these methods, if I recall. The idea was, well, if I need a decorator for a field, how do I make a field? But I no longer, I don't like this. So there's a little bit of data model, mental model, data model implementation to think about. In the context of making this thing work in two languages, I want this thing to work not only in two languages, but in three, if you like, runtime environments, which is to say on the back end in a Python environment, and also inspired by LangGraph itself, TypeScript and the JavaScript environment. And my own goal, if it's supported by LangGraph, is furthermore to say that TypeScript will run on the back end in a Node.js process, let's say, and also on the front end in a browser context. I believe that's table stakes, if you like, to having a good, like, professional, proper, software package in the open source community. Something I love, having written closed source software for like 8 years now, is open source. At its best, I think there's many ways to do it, but at its best, when I love it, is there's real high pressure for just top quality and just kind of professional standards, and not timeline pressures. Basically, the timeline pressures succumb to the quality pressures. It's so easy to drive by and say, "Ooh, this is unoptimized. Here's either the idiomatic correct way or here's a better way." It's usually pretty clear whether it's better or not. Usually, the interesting cases are the unclear ones where people disagree, but usually people say, oh, you should use this package. Oh, I should have used data model, for example. Oh, hey, hello. If you had known Python better, you would have known this data model technique and or the Pydantic system, right? That's an example of a feedback, open source feedback, where I might have said, yes, I've rolled my own and it's been meh, and I'm getting technical debt, I'm accruing technical debt. And in fact, there's an entire system for that. I strongly believe, to respond to that specific hypothetical feedback, again, there is one correct way to get started in software, in open source, or in software, which is anywhere, but produce output. So I don't mind being wrong there. That's the open sourceness of it, and to tighten it up and to correct it will be brilliant. So let me proceed. So right, there's more. I guess the last thing to just kind of remind myself that I'm really excited about is, again, it's not about the syntax, but I love that I've allowed the developer to say, here's what I want, and there's a kind of a what am I trying to say? There's like a there's like a common expectation. This means French. We all kind of know it as language processors, right? But then furthermore, this even might not have needed to need this. You can, what is it? In the code, this is called an override. But, I would tell the developer, you may, specify precisely what do you mean. So I could have said even, which is true if the number as written out in English ends with the string even, right? So then 7 would be true, and 8 would be false, and all numbers 17 would be false, and then 27 would be true. To implement what I described is a little bit. I don't see a use for it, but to make that level of change is a matter of making a change in the string. I would just, to me, I would say I would write my predicate in English, and then what is complete, and then enjoy the typecasting to this, through this predicate. And you can write an arbitrary predicate in an arbitrary string. Of course, sorry, not you, the developer, or the application code, or whatever. I really love that. That took a little bit of logic and work to implement and to get working. And so if decorators becomes trouble, and I want to completely abandon this approach, which I currently think I do. I want to go back. I think there was this builder thing that seemed simpler. It seemed implementable in both languages. But let me wrap this up. I love this override capability. Again, I think both are extremely valuable to just say, right, just reference any language from the, Unicode, whatever, namespace or something. And that's fine. Or also explain in detail what you want. I love it. I completely love it. Okay, so I've already explained all this cardinality stuff. Totally love that too. That also took a lot of by hand implementation. What is this persona? Customer? Define the conversation rule and traits. Yeah. Little bit of decorators, a little bit of it's really just these two. It is possible to define, the role of Alice, the role of Bob. So something I want to test very shortly, for example, is Dungeon Master with a, how about Dungeon Master with a cheesy like robot voice, like I'm your robot Dungeon Master, something like that, all cap, all uppercase. And in the interview is, let's create your character. Right. And in principle, this thing could be wired up to a proper knowledge base of all the character creation. But in my mind, For some reason I can't explain, that's out of scope. It's just I want to. I think if it can gather character creation stuff, and in my mind support the meandering conversations that ensue during a character. I don't know about you, but in my experience, character creation takes like 2 full game sessions, or two days, at its worst or at its best. Uh, the examples I'm documenting here is more prosaic, more clear. Um, One reason I want dynamic models. Uh, One reason I want these objects to be built in at runtime dynamically on the basis of unfolding events and information on the basis of users logging in and using things and all this sort of thing at the runtime there at the last minute, if you like, at the just in time. The reason I want all of that is because I believe these systems, um, I believe that only that approach can support our expectations of a good conversation with these things. I think people can already tell the sloppy ones. People can definitely tell the pre-language model chatbots out there. They're kind of fewer. They're smaller and smaller as a proportion every day, but people can tell. But I think people can tell sloppy chatbots and good chatbots. People are definitely learning. It's beginning to be like um, uh, um, intuitive to think, oh, I tell it to do something and it does something and then it responds to me in a way that humans don't. We have a much more powerful or nuanced mechanism to say, wait, let's stop talking about what we're doing and let's talk about what we're talking about. Like, are we on the same show? Like, for example, sorry, did you mean this? As a language matter, that's a changing of the subject, and now we're talking about talking, and we do it so naturally. Or for example, I might say, um, I'm a vegan, right? And then that's going to imply all sorts of correct information and potentially, a food, a food circumstance. I don't know. Uh, and also it implies proper conversation. For example, never ask about meat again, or animal products again. And a language model knows what an animal and an animal product is, and so on. It should be. I believe this is achievable, and so I believe that in my dream, in the live conversation, potentially the trait of veganism might attach to Bob in fact, mid conversation, And so then what's happening is the interview is in some sense not an interview if we're getting into like ontology. It's not architecture. It's not an architecture review anymore. It's an architecture review with a vegan. It's like a subcategory, or and if it's done properly, the LLM should totally act accordingly. I believe an LLM can crush that. Let me keep going. So we're done. So we're back. If the code's all checked in, then what that means is there's a bunch of incomplete kind of guesswork about what in the heck we're doing, because I don't know. I had conversations with Claude about making changes. I don't remember even liking it. Let me just go read. Let's go read it in GitHub. I'm not looking forward. It felt bad. I may have logged off saying this is awesome. It felt awesome. I like it. I believe it's all possible. It didn't feel close. That's the problem. It didn't feel close at all. Let me go read my check-in. What the heck did I do? What did I do? What did I do? I don't even remember what I did. Okay. It was less fun than I had hoped to make Abraham Lincoln interview John Wilkes Booth. So this is just nothing. This is just my tester. Oh, just the tester. Okay, let's go to the parent. Now I heard about a great tool for screencasting which can kind of zoom and look into things. Oh, deleted. That's fine. I don't want a builder. I kind of want to rip everything out. Okay, good. So I deleted the entire builder object. This is still not, I thought I checked in some code that said like, let me just pull the history. I thought my last commit was, oh my God, this is an incomplete mess. Let's just pull the history. Oh, I should have celebrated 100 commits. I like to celebrate 10 commits. I like to celebrate 100 commits. I like to celebrate the powers of 10 of commits. That's a fun like thing to do. That's a fun team thing or personal celebration, open source celebration. That's a fun one. GitHub should have done that. Like YouTube sends awards. GitHub should have little digital virtual, badges or something for 10 commits, 100 commits, and so on. Or for 2 committers, for getting 2 committers on your team and something similar. Or pull, all that. Maybe they do. Okay, so I wrote notes. That's my last. Wait, is that? That's my last commit to the entire project. Use npm run min to get 2 things working. This is good. Use npm run min to get the interrupt system. Oh, I remember. It was feeling hopeless. It was feeling bad. And in particular, not only was it feeling bad at the kind of data model and mental model level, but Claude Code was just flat out misbehaving and misbehaving. And if I recall, I told it I want this little test program to run, and it like deleted the entire test suite or stuff like that so that it ran. It was silly. But I do remember the reason I was pushing so hard. Let me go look at that. Minimal.ts. Here it is. Is because it was such a disaster. I said, often with bug reports or in many circumstances, I said, all right, we're going to write the minimal, either, correct or incorrect, machine code. And so that's what I did. So this is attempting, this TypeScript code is attempting to be the, what's your favorite number? It's attempting to copy exactly here it is, run real API. This one, yeah, run real. So if I move these next to each other, the run real API is that right? Yeah, it should be. Favorite number? Is it not run real API? Run real API. Come here, run real API. Yeah. Oh, JS. Oh, T. No. No. Wrong. Yeah. Wrong. Not this. Oh dear. I'm gonna save it and see what happens. The Python. Okay, I see what I did wrong. In Python, run real. Here it is. Right. These are attempting to be parallel to each other. This minimal. Oh, finally, for the first time in a long time, it actually makes sense for me to. So the minimal will be on the left, and the TypeScript will be on the left, and the Python will be on the right. And so my thought was, well, let's attack this problem basically from 2 sides. We gotta make this problem of the disaster that the code is it is completely deeply incomplete. Gonna attack that from 2 sides, top down and bottom up. Top down is this, just get me a kind of hello world that at least compiles and runs and queries the LLM and so on. and can basically can at least get through hello world and exit without an error, And bottom up meaning let's like build out and flesh out the data objects and the types and all the TypeScript files and the test suite and so on. And so I think we have to do both to get it to succeed here. So then there's of course also there's just awful comments and just this is all like we're already accumulating little tech debt. It's not horrible, it's comments, but I like it. I love it though. I want this thing to become basically the newest test suite when it's finished. So so here's my loop. So my first question I want to ask myself is, do I want to? I think I know. I think I know the answer. So I said use npm run. Let me just run it. Let me just respect my previous self and just literally run what the. So what is npm? So I've got my nvm going. I use nvm. So let's just try that. Min was it? Let's just see. Need to install. That seems weird. Why would it need that? Okay. I think, I don't know what I think. I hate the number, I hate 12, but I love 23. The previous sentence is, should have right. Oh shoot, it doesn't even process. I took all that time to challenge the language model. Stupid. Okay. Right. So that is, I'm not sure that's even minimal yet. It doesn't even query, but that's good. It compiles. That's fine for using Claude Code to proceed here. Having it compile is, I think, going to be very helpful. Okay, so the interrupt system to get the user input and the tool calling. I don't remember. I don't feel like in fact, the tool calling seemed to have clearly not worked. Let's go check our trace. Ooh, I like that. I like that I implemented that trace. That's nice. Nice. Cool. So then, oh, the language model did run. It just didn't display it back to me. Okay. Okay. All right, I think I've caught up. I think I'm no longer rusty. I think I'm back, baby. So what else? Let's just check my history. I'm going to contradict my last statement there. And helper commands. What is that? Clean, build and run, npx. Now, this is just me getting back into getting npx. Short-term goal for JavaScript. What's my short-term goal? Okay, that's creating the minimal file. Okay. I think I know. Okay, I think there's a fork in the road. There's two major things to do. Maybe I should start just making issues. I don't know. Yes, I will. I'm going to do my favorite thing to do. Again, it's a nice little upgrade to maturity. I'm going to just start making issues. I know I'm in the wrong repo. I'm in the master repo, which is a fantasy at this time. Complete vaporware fantasy. But action is better than no action. Something is better than nothing. And output is always better than no output. So let's just do my favorite thing, which is title only issues. So I'm going to say, here's the point. I either need to get a consistent, like model in both languages. So then control return, right? Done. Well, I don't either. I also need, what do I need? So I need to, in other words, between the Python, get this. But what I'm saying specifically is to solve this problem. Notable numbers. Favorite here. Yeah. This is a return string, or this is a return statement. And in Python, this is not a return. I think in Ruby, it would be, maybe. But in Python, this is a doc string, famously. I'm taking advantage of these doc strings. Famously unique to Python, more or less. And so that is what I mean by that ticket. Ticket number one is get both models consistent. Ticket number two is basically get, these are really kind of milestones, but get like pretty close parity for the run scripts. Right, that's the point. So if I look at my issues, these are the two short term. This is the fork in the road. It's not a fork. I must do one and then I must do the other. So the fork is what to do first. And I think the answer is ticket number one, consistent model. I think that's unclear. It's hard. It's making it difficult for me to think. I don't like thinking about Java. I don't like the JavaScript yet. Because not because it's JavaScript, but because it's incomplete. This model here is incomplete. And then everything coming out of it, I don't enjoy as much. I really enjoyed again, not the exact implementation, but I really enjoyed clarifying to myself, clarifying to myself the mental model behind all this typecasting and all these things. So I will do that now, is the point. We must resolve, maybe I had conversations in Claude or something. I think the answer is definitely do it in Claude Code. And let's just go. Let's just get into Claude Code and start asking questions. Now we can resume conversations here. Let's try it. This should be brilliant for returning from an absence. TypeScript. We were talking about TypeScript. No. Let's start a new one. Let's switch over to planning and Chatfield. Boom. Chatfield Chatfield JS. Thank you. So I'm going to tell it I want your like pro opinion on. I always feel like an idiot telling it it's a professional. I feel like an idiot. I'm saying you are a 20-year pro. All these prompting that say you are a. It doesn't just say provide expertise about this programming question or technical question. It says it first it grovels. I feel like I'm groveling to a psychopath. You know, the first thing we need to establish is that you are brilliant. With that out of the way, here's a question, Your Eminence, from my user about, tying tennis shoes, or my daughter wants to generate a cartoon. I feel bad prompting sometimes like this. Anyway, I'll just live with that. I think that's my own personal demon. I want your about how they compare or whatever. And I also is like compile time and what it can done like arbitrarily, right? at runtime for each. Let's just get it going. Now it's going to see Claude.mds in there. Hopefully it'll read some Claude.mds and we're off. Okay. This is cool. So from Chatfield, I think all these hints, all these decorators, of course, didn't. Yeah. Yeah. And then I think to get parity on implementation. Yes. This is the only correct order sequencing. I think to get the scripts did run and work, but again, as Claude Code, I mean, Claude Code really Claude Code makes it very easy to be less than 100% familiar and confident with your own code base. It happens when you use a new code base or try a different code base. That happens, but typically, I strike every keystroke of the entire of my commits, and so I'm intimately, more or less, I'm as familiar as possible with them, especially the recent ones and so on. And Claude Code's really just changing that as a developer experience. Oops, yeah, let's see what it's done. Update todos. That's Spanish for update everything. I'm going to make this joke until I die. Which, if I'm successful, maybe I can get a mob, an angry mob to come and accelerate that. Okay, so analyze code, compile time versus runtime. Yes, thank you. Let's learn. All right, so I'm asking it about my own code base. Python Chatfield. Class inheritance from an interview. Methods with docstrings become fields. Okay. Okay. I know what I think. I don't want decorators anymore. I think that. Let me go back. I know it's been a long journey with the decorators. Whoops, we're way in the root now. But I think the builder model, I can't find my previous conversations. It was more, I think it was roughly the same syntactic sugar and just way more idiomatic, way simpler, way more obvious how it could run at runtime rather than compile time. I think I learned my lesson. Actually, I know what I think. The question is, this decorator approach. Where's some fun decorators? These fun decorators, or some sort of builder syntax. I think we go, yeah, I think builder's fine. And then it'll be obvious how to do that at runtime. I think this may actually solve a technical challenge. This actually may reduce a lot of tech debt. It's not totally clear to me how, because these are classes, it's not perfectly convenient to do this at run. I've already bumped into some runtime. It was in TypeScript somewhere. I've already had to sort of beg TypeScript's forgiveness for defining a type at runtime. Oh, let me see if I can find it as a challenge to myself. Let's see if I can find it in my own code base. I would say it would be in the Chatfield JS. It would be in the interviewer. Yeah, I think, because the point is the interview. Oh, interesting. The interviewer. It's when it decides to call the tool. Yes, I'm remembering. When it's deciding to call the tool, the way tool calls work with the language models is you define this very concrete data type, and that data type is brilliant, but it's defined at runtime rather. Though I'm doing it dynamically, and so that means it's defined at runtime rather than compile time. And so somewhere I had to sort of, I don't know if I'll find the exact line of code. Not the merger. I would guess it would be in the tool call stuff. Where's the tool call stuff? Setup graph, So in the Python code, the tool call stuff is in the graph setup, if I recall correctly, unless it changed recently. See this tool schema, I think it's somewhere in here. Aha, it's commented out. That's bad. So it does bind to the tools. Interesting. It does bind the LLM, but it doesn't bind the LangGraph router or whatever you call it. Node. No, excuse me. Node. There's a node. There's a tool calling node somewhere in here. The Python does it for sure. Listen. There's got to be a node. Add node. Oh, interesting that it's doing this. Oh my God. I don't know if. Wow. Okay. I would guess it would be in here. It would have to be in here. Let's see. Create tools and fun. It's that. I want to say it's that Z. Yeah, that Z object. Z.object field schemas. It's all this. It's this Z.object, if I recall, and then maybe using the tool schema. So I want all of this gone. I think I want this gone. I want this gone. Let's keep reading. Okay. Compile time versus runtime. Yeah, oh dear. Okay, so if we do this builder pattern, I don't know if we're going to inherit from an interview object. We might. Okay. Compile time, runtime, field discovery via dir. Yeah, that's because I implemented all this with just yes. TypeScript. Okay, builder TypeScript. Builder API primary. Yeah, .field, .must. Okay, fluent chaining. So we kind of like it. Class decorators. And then schema API. I don't want any of that. Don't we want a builder? Yeah, builder. Yeah, builder. We want builder only. Professional comparison. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Highness. Architecture, philosophy. Yeah, so we need to merge these. Oh, let me read what it thinks about Python's elegance. Methods are fields. Yes, field proxy. Oh, let's do coffee. Today's coffee is quite disgusting, but I love caffeine. Yeah, that's super gross. That's good. Okay. So, proxy string subclass is brilliant. Wait, is brilliant? Brilliant. I get a point. Acts as a string, but revised. Yes, it does. Okay, so yeah, exactly. TypeScript practices on multiple APIs. Okay. What is it asking? Ready to code? No. Why would you want to code? Claude Code. Claude Code. Why are you? No implementation changes needed. This is a research task. Okay, let's keep planning. Show me the most important design change before us. Unify and simplify this all. Let's consolidate. On the builder approach only for both languages. Before we code, first show me some examples of what the Python like, what am I trying to say? Run, what is that? What is that? Run real? It's run real API, I remember. Let's do that. So we're going builder. We're going builder for a moment. For a plan mode conversation with Claude Code, we're going builder. Builder model. Is that a thing? Builder model? The builder? Build like software, like builder. It sounds like a pattern. It is a pattern. It's a pattern. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, it's a thing. No wonder. Good. Good. That's good. This language models are going to be that much more adept at it. Oh, I remember. I There's another question, which is should I go? I believe I now from looking into LangGraph, I believe LangGraph uses Zod on the Python. Excuse me, on the TypeScript side. Zod. Correct. Zod.dev. This TypeScript first schema validation with static type. This is for my purposes. This is the same for my purposes as Pydantic, only in that it's the foundation with which LangGraph and LangChain also, yes, force the LLM to communicate structured data. That's all. That's the only extent that I care, at least, about it. I know there's more to it. It's more complex, but this is the proper mechanism to get structured data back from the LLM. Is these so-called tool calls? I don't. Again, there's so much protocol. We're talking about calling tools, because it's a language model. It's going to say the time has come to call a tool, and the parameters to the tool is blah, blah, blah. Literally, I just take that string down and parse it. Like, it's not a tool, whatever. This time away has made me, I gotta come to peace with my, demons a little bit. I gotta embrace the positivity and all the great opportunity that I'm building. I mean, this is the coolest project maybe I've built, in my life for at least for the LLM. Yeah, I gotta get positive. So the good news is there's no like TypeScript copy over, and then if I switch over, let me think. I think it's just Pydantic. Let me just pull up Pydantic. Yeah, these types. Yeah, they serialize. Base model here. Yeah. I believe these Pydantic base models, Pydantic, obviously, I think far more broad and mature use cases, but the Pydantic is parallel to Zod. That's my understanding. And so here's the builder model. Why? Oh, are they talking about don't subclass? I've never really learned all these models in much detail. They're sort of like the logical fallacies, and I've just learned a couple here and there. To build a simple house. Subclass. Okay, yes. Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Separate objects? Okay. 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 Yikes. Okay. Pseudocode. Yeah, let's read some pseudocode. Wait, this is pseudocode? Okay. I think I've learned enough. Okay. The only thing this builder, one of my favorite essays, what is it? The Land of the Nouns or whatever? Java. The Noun King. Something like that. Execution in the kingdom of nouns. This is now what does that make it? A 19-year-old essay. And roughly speaking, he just says there's too many nouns in Java. So we'll close that. I love it. I've read it 100 times. Too many nouns in Java. So whatever, let's make some nouns. I don't care. I've made my peace. Yes, I've resolved to embrace my enthusiasm today rather than my pessimism. So let's embrace some enthusiasm. So that's Zod. That's this base model. What that means practically I need to do is ship what I want to understand is, should I literally implement both of these builders using respectively Zod? Is it the case that the builder is the common, API and developer experience, and then there's different implementations, and that it's built up, that Zod builds something? I think that's a fine question, but the answer is no. Zod is validation, not all typing. You can define schemas. You can validate data. Show me some Zod basic usage. Show me some Zod. And why they call it Zod? It's like the god of, or it's like, I don't care. Okay. Big. Define a schema. Schema. Good. Still have data. Let's drink more coffee. I need more okay, Zod. What's a Zod mini? What? Okay. Okay. So this is cool. You could run this anytime you like at runtime. So that's something good. This could execute at any moment, at any time, in any situation in JavaScript. .parse to validate. Okay, now I don't think I want to be parsing. My question is, do I want to define, okay, I think I know the answer. Do I want to define my interview objects using this? I think the answer is no. The practical question I'm asking myself is, are the major experience I had, the major unexpected challenge so far, really of all of this Chatfield, has been, where is it? Is this my serialization? Oh, no, not. It has been the challenge of serialization. I guess it's an interview object. It's gonna have hooks. Two dict, I believe, helper. Come here. Let's go a little bigger. Where's that two dict? Come here, two dict. I know it's here somewhere. Was it two? Oh no, it's model dump, right? It's model dump. Yeah, it's model dump. Yes, model dump. Wonderful. This more or less was my hack, let's call it, to make this object serializable. I was just really enjoying myself making a cheeky Python class, fields, nice and simple. And as soon as I placed my Python class, my Python object, into the state, not the merging, the state of the application, of the LangGraph application, let's say. Oh my God, I had 2 full days. I probably had, I don't know, between 10 to 20 hours of punishment to atone for that sin. Don't put a non-serializable object in this state, is the lesson, or the lesson is all objects must be serializable, and furthermore, you must expect them to. You must implement deserialization as well. You, the developer using this, all objects in this state must not only be serialized, they must be serializable and deserializable. They must round trip through a storage in a data system, really, is the point. And so I did. And I want to keep that capability. That must happen. Either there's a new data object here, or we continue to use these interview objects, which are serializable. So then that makes me, I know what to talk about with Claude. What I need to talk about with Claude is that with using the builder model, no. It'll work. I don't even need to ask Claude. I can see it working. The builder model will definitely make it stay serializable. So let's keep going. The builder model, yeah, it'll stay serializable, no problem. Okay. So let's keep going. Oh my gosh, wait, what are we doing? Oh, it's showing me all these examples I asked for. Thank you. All right, what are these examples? Oh, I don't like it quite as much, but some of this is just white space. Oof, I don't quite love it, but I love the consistency. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. I think with some white space, it'll look good. So you go Chatfield, build a customer support gatherer. So do we want to build a gatherer? Okay, so we have .docstring. Uh-huh. .alice, .alice.trait, .alice.trait, .bob, .bob.trait, .field. Whew. Okay. Uh-huh. Now, is this going to work in TypeScript too? I may even, if I'm going to just simplify, I might simplify. These may just, if I just, whoops, if this changes to underscore here, where are we? It fully occurs to me, I'm spending a lot of time designing effectively a DSL in a language and a toolkit, which has today not even 0 users, including me. And so this careful thinking that I'm doing would really only pay dividends if the software is not only broadly deployed, but used by many people. I know that, but part of this exercise is just to do a good job open sourcing and to just do a good job. So anyway, we could flatten this out to underscores. It wouldn't be too bad. These .field, .must. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, .field, .must. Uh-huh. And then there's a .build object at the end. Nah, you don't need that .build. Create an interviewer. Okay. What is it telling me? It's just giving me examples. Can you describe what is happening? Login performance. Okay. Is this, let me go a little bigger here too, huh? Yeah. Enjoy my monitor. Yeah, that's fine. So what are we doing? Where were we? Here we are. All right. I don't understand why. Okay, I'll ask it. Why do we need this .build? I mean, okay. So that's an outstanding question. Customer support chat. Fine. Lower. Okay, read me examples. Yeah, here we go. Contact form equals Chatfield.build. Uh-huh. And then why not pass a string? Why not pass a string? Yes. Okay, second question is why not pass a string? Because that contact form's going to have, that contact form's not going to know its name. You know, that came out of the underscore class at some point. If I go into the interview, underscore class is going to be in here at least somewhere. Wait, where are we? Interview.ts. Whoops. Let's close a little. If I pull up an interview object in Python, Chatfield, interview. What's going on? Comments. Inner init, that's just a log message. Fine. Yeah, here it is, literally. These ultimately become little JSON objects, let's say, and it just simply comes from the class name. My thought was in the future it might be more sophisticated, something like that. You could use the LLM to help initialize. That would be really cool. Separate from, you know, conducting the interview. There might be some interactions with the LLM to help prepare in some way, potentially. Not today. So I think that's lost here. I think Claude Code does not realize that's been lost. This contact form does not know it's called a contact form in any way that I could see, besides some really gnarly, introspection or something like that. Be unpleasant. It'd be definitely bad. Yes, definitely bad. So, I see. So that's a type. Cool. So that's a type, effectively. I don't know if that's literally what it is, because there's been this, because here it's put into a object, obviously. And then the interviewer continues to be an interviewer. That's fine. Okay, wonderful. So then this is basically good. We have interview.go. Okay. Cool. Love it. Now what? What are we going to do? Okay, so there were two questions. There's why do I need the .build? Perfect. I'm just going to tell it perfect. Okay, key benefits of builds. Okay. Oh no, stop it. I want, is there an extension by now where I can press shift return and get, new line? It's just unintuitive. It's unintuitive. I don't know what in the world. It seems like an obvious kind of unintuitive wart that they've got shift tab. They've got all this keyboard stuff. If I don't understand, either shift return does nothing ever, and so they've wasted that obvious shortcut that people know, or they have co-opted it to do something, in which case that's just rude. Shift return only has one meaning. It's new line in my thing. Okay, we're paused. Sorry, we're optimistic. It also writes code for me for effectively free. So let's keep going. It's awesome. Okay. Okay. First of all, field builder, field proxy. That's and I'm gonna say, okay, about the builder API. Two questions. All right, off we go. All right. Why have a .build method at all? Currently, the Python implementation really just builds up a plain Jane, right? Plain Jane dict of simple types capturing all information and being JSON, like being JSON, capturing all information. This, like, what is it called? Underscore Chatfield property. While being JSONable. These objects must round trip through storage. I'll just tell it what I said to myself. The model dump and what am I trying to say? The model dump code and initialization code drives that in Python. Okay. I think I know what I want to do. I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna copy this. Oh, Okay, about the builder API. Paste. Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna let that be. I assume that's not, I don't like that, but whatever. Okay, now what? Control K? Yay, Control K, that works. Wonderful. Ooh, the Emacs, they've got some Emacs shortcuts. Oh, they've got Emacs shortcuts, sort of. Cool. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, neat. Oh, they got Emacs shortcuts. Okay, all is forgiven. I miss that from my Mac. I'm enjoying this Linux. I haven't used desktop Linux in many, many years, so I'm kind of enjoying its pain points. For it's like an old sneakers, but okay, we're happy. Why have a build method at all? Couldn't it? Couldn't both implementations update this Chatfield dict as needed, and it's always ready, and it's always a valid like type, or builder object to an type object. Related, will these types work? Like related, I'll just say, I am concerned, I'm concerned, but unsure whether these types will be at like best inconvenient, or at worst like unsupported in an IDE. That's the point. The IDE's, you know, doing TypeScript or Python, right? So why have a .build method? I guess you do need a .build method. I don't want it though. I'm just gonna say, help me understand what a world without method would look like. Okay, what would that world look like? Backslash. All right, I don't even remember my second question. Let's go back and remember my second question. That's not too bad. Oh, if I do it though, then I wasted a bunch of time. I made all these callable objects in Python so that it could be a decorator and also callable and all this nonsense. And the way that they're doing it here is, nope, just call it. I like that. I think that's fine. No surprises to the developer. If they saw, any developer who saw those Python code as it is today would say that's like a, I bet a lot of Python developers would say that's not going to compile. You must have a self, argument. All right. Oh yeah. I remember. Second question. It seems to me the the interview object would not know its own name from your examples. Like, in other words, in Python, like dot underscore Chatfield sub, what was it? Let's just go look. It's got to be, let's just go read some code. Is that class name? I was just reading that code. Where was that? I was just reading that. Here it is. Yes. Underscore Chatfield interview. I want bigger font here too. Let's go one smaller. Okay. This object is simple types, able to serialize, return dict, whatever. Chatfield interview. Type, description. There's the roles. I see. Oh, yes. We're initializing. Right, we're initializing. And so we're taking class stuff and turning it into object stuff. So we pull the class name and we put it into our object. We copy it. Yeah, effectively. Effectively, we pull our doc string, and if not, our description, and then the roles comes because the class has already defined the roles. Of course, the roles have been defined ages ago. So those roles copy in, and then the fields copy in. Oh, I see. And then we go through. I see. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so then that's good. So it's this type, this Chatfield underscore interview, and then what happens with this Chatfield? Here we go. Self. Okay, okay. So it's the main Chatfield object. I remember. So the main Chatfield object has a type. All right. Okay. That's the answer. So today is to be you know, could or should that be a string argument to the Chatfield builder? All right, let's just ask the question and spend some tokens. All right, I don't know what to do about field proxy. Let's just talk about dot optional. What is dot optional? Sure. Format as phone number. Yes, yes. Make that language model format my phone number. Yes. Yes. Good idea. Wait, what? Add contact info? Wait, what? Functional composition example. Wait, what? Quick gathering. Quick feedback equals quick gatherer. Wait, what? Presets. Oh. I kind of want to get rid of all the presets. Let's see what it's doing. Oh dear, it's generated a lot. Let's read. Oh. Okay, let's set field proxy aside. Oh, okay. Oh, I asked excellent questions. I'm so proud of myself. Okay. Let's analyze. Dot build. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Let's examine what happens with and without dot build. Without dot build, we have direct mutation. Wonderful. This is great. This is really like fun language design. I don't know if it'll be fruitful. It depends on the users and adoption and things like that. But this is definitely exciting to me. So the builder is the interview instance. Oh, I mean, I already see one problem is there's going to be collisions on this dot field stuff. Okay. Of course, it's either a builder and it has convenient methods like dot field and dot must, or it's an interviewer. Sorry, it's an interview and it is not have little dot field unless you want to make those like little underscores or something. And then instead of syntactic sugar, we're into bad syntax. Okay. Interviewer equals interviewer. Interviewer is fine. Save state. Contact dot model dump. TypeScript, same approach. Okay. So this is all without build, without dot, why dot build at all? Without build, without build. Okay. Single type throughout. Can't distinguish configuration phase from runtime phase. Yeah, mutable after use begins. Yeah, exactly, a foot gun. Because I kind of want to make them copy each other. I don't really want them mutable. Yes. I want that build. Okay, I've been talked into it. Okay, I've been talked into it. Two types to understand. Wait, what? IDE must track transformation from, that's fine. Dynamic field access. How does the IDE know about, yes. How does the IDE know about .name and .email? That's a great point. Even with .build, same problem. Neither approach solves vulnerability. The fields are defined at runtime, not compile time. So I think I know the answer, right? I think the answer is allow types, just back to allow the types, allow types to be defined at compile time as well to take advantage of the, right? I think they're right. I think, no, that's totally true. Because the definition of collecting contact might be a policy embodied in a database, you know, query or row or something, right? The way that we do our forms could be itself a bit of data. And so it's nonsense. It's impossible in that circumstance for an IDE to know these fields. And in TypeScript, I mean, the point of TypeScript is, among other things, to solve this, is to say, well, at compile time, let's say, and the only thing is, I think, yeah, at compile time, or sorry, not at compile time, well, yeah, in TypeScript, yes, at compile time, let's say, you can define some of this. With builders, we need explicit naming. Option A, required first argument. Option B, oh yeah, .name. Yeah, that's way better. Why not optional first argument? Option C, derived from the variable name. No, yes, no. Don't do that, no. Exactly, thank you. Yes. Skip .build entirely and make it directly usable. No, I don't like that. I like .build. No, I like the .build. I like for the syntax and examples. I would per in pair. I'll just say okay. I think .build is totally fine. Let's explore. Okay, 2 more questions for you then. Because I do want to support changing the interview, mid-interview, right? Mid-conversation. Example, if Bob says he is vegan, the interview permanently reflects, like, you know, the interview permanently reflects that by like or by omitting like meat choices, right? Like animal, you know, questions, etc., right? Okay. But I want that implementation to be via like copy and like making modified copies of like immutable objects, if not literally, in spirit, as developer experience, right? This also should be a dang GitHub ticket. In fact, as a side job, please create a GitHub to remember that need. Then, okay. Then, so now what do I want it to do? We got model dump. Derived from the variable name now. Oh, now we're going to do option B. Option B is perfect for the interview name. Show me some. Oh, and show me the. Given all that, show me the README examples again. Also with white space separating the fields to make it as readable as possible. As readable, clean, and understandable as possible for a developer, right? All right, let's let it cook. So I can almost split it off, but whatever. Let's see if it makes it. Thank you. Make a GitHub ticket. You have the GH command line? You had better. GH, thank you. Yes. Thank you, GH. Let's go read it. Let's read my issues. Something is always better than nothing. Progress, even though this is basically in the wrong repo now, this Chatfield deserves its own repo, is overdue. I want to start capturing. Wonderful. Whew. Cool. Cool. All right. In fact, as a side job, good. Wonderful. So now it's thinking. We're back in plan mode. Feature request, use case. Yeah, exactly. Which at the moment, oh yeah, that would happen by adding a Bob attribute. There's no kind of way for it to happen automatically. The only way this would happen today would be there'd be a vegan field, which is a little bit of trouble because all fields are explicitly discussed at the moment. But anyway, there'd have to be a vegan field, and then the application code would catch that vegan, let's say Boolean, and from that vegan Boolean, it would need to then, let's say add a Bob attribute, copy the interview object as it stands currently, and also add maybe traits for Bob. Yeah. And that's kind of bad because that's kind of crossing models. An interview is, a conversation. Bob is the vegan. So, but of course he discloses that in the interview. So it's not really proper to have a vegan field in the interview. If the interview is what shall we have for dinner, unless we are cannibals, vegan should not be in the list. It's crossing data and metadata. It's confusing data and metadata, I think, here. So what I'd love to do is solve that. I'd love to solve that. And I know exactly how. There's two things to do. I want to change the conversation objects. I may even ask Chatfield here now, or ask Claude Code to have sort of hidden fields which are not discussed but which are tracked by the LLM. And then secondly, so that would allow there to be a hidden, .vegan. The field could be, they mentioned veganism or something. It's a hidden field. I think that works. Somehow, to me, that allows me to escape this paradox, or this improper crossing of data and metadata. And then next, somehow by decorating that, or I'm throwing away the decoration code today, but by decorating that vegan field, somehow there's a way, or maybe Bob has a hidden trait. Maybe that's it. But anyway, the point though is, again, declaratively, it could be the builder model. It could be executing. I could be sending declarations into this code, but in a declarative way, we can say, hey, Bob might be vegan, or Bob might have dietary restrictions of all, that sort of thing. And therefore the interview should be able to go there and the interviewer should be able to respond accordingly. You know, the interview and the interviewer must reflect that accordingly. That's all going to work. That's all going to work. That's all going to work. It's not going to be too bad. Basically, hidden fields or hidden traits about Alice or Bob is going to implement that. All right, let's keep going. So it's a little bit too many. Wait. Oh dear. Wait. Oh no. No, backslash. Oh God. Right, that's why the, oh man. That's horrible. That's horrible. Oh God, humans will not type this. This is horrible. No way. Okay, let's see. Besides the syntax, how's it feeling? Okay, I forgot Python can't do that. JavaScript can. It's going to look better in JavaScript. So they wrap a huge thing. They wrap a huge thing. Mm-hmm. Dot build. And so the nice thing about a dot build is you get, yeah, a contact form, but it makes you a class. I mean, do I even need, like, it doesn't even matter. Like, why not return an object of that type? Why return a class? Is there an advantage? I mean, obviously one thing would be like, I don't see an advantage to returning a class or a type and then, wait, what? Oh, it's not. It is not indeed. I'm missing the function call here, the call here. So that's good. So we do Chatfield.name. Okay. Totally ugly. Message, how can we help you? Mm-hmm. Use it. Ooh, if I make it a string here, the user's going to be tempted to put a space. Okay. Maybe instead of .name, let's just call it .type, right? Let's just call it .type. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's some updates. Wonderful. Boom. A .name method. Can we use .type? Will that work in Python and TypeScript? Oops, shoot. Well, I'll just let it think that. So what else do I think? All right, GitHub issue. So here's my fields. Shoo, that's ugly. Super ugly. Doesn't like, oh, I know what I'm going to ask it. I'm going to ask it to draw inspiration from like pandas, but no, I'm not. There's no way that's going to copy over to TypeScript. I don't even want to try. So asstring.must.asstring.asstring.french. Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Uh-huh. After collection. Interview equals job application. Okay, the other thing is I want the examples to just... Okay, I know what else I want. Nice and simple. Oh, .type it is. Next, can the examples skip assigning to a type, to a like type, what is it, job application? Is that right? Yeah, job application. And then copy to a variable that looks like an object. Example, what was that? Job application? Interview equals job application? Was that it? Yeah, interview equals customer support. I like the simplicity of saying the builder returns an object, not a type. Because the type is just literally a string in the dictionary. Wait, do I want to explain myself? My thinking is the builder returns an, I like simplicity, the builder returns an object. The point is, like, I could claim to have two interview objects of the same type, and they are in no way of the same type anymore. And I think that's fine. If we're going to have runtime, like runtime definitions of these things, I think there's just no other way to do it, and just punt on it. I don't like types, so we're not doing that. I don't like types. I still like the 90s anything goes. I like scalars and non-scalars. I like it simple. So, builder returns an object, not a type. All right, do we want anything else? Matches the Chatfield type? Yes, exactly. Field. So then the field, does the field have a name? Okay, fine, name. Your full name, first and last name. Oh, okay, next question. Second question. Should this implementation use, remember, we are ultimately talking about supporting Python, TypeScript on Node, and TypeScript in a browser. Okay. We're ultimately talking about supporting Python, TypeScript on Node, and TypeScript in a browser. Should this implementation, and what's my question? Use is it data class? Either data class or Pydantic. Or maybe Pydantic to take advantage of its like native, like, let's say, like, of its like well-known, well-tested, serialization, deserialization, and deserialization. But then what would the TypeScript side look like? I want to copy, if it is relevant, if it is applicable, I want to copy how LangGraph does it. Using AFAIK, yeah, Pydantic, and Zod, respectively, right? It's for like valid structured data. I'm not sure. All right, off we go. Let's just get it going. Oh, and I forgot to say, whoops, I also forgot to say, thanks. I very much dislike the backslashes. I want things tidy and clean to read for a developer, right? What syntactic sugar or improvements can we make to keep the builder model if parens is Um, the only if parens is the best. No problem. So be it. Whatever. Okay. Boom. Boom. Let's see if it does it. All right. All right. Let's spend some tokens. I hate the backslashes. Lots of questions. I'm trying to do a lot of stuff in parallel. All right, where are we? As usual, I'm like not writing code. I'm coding open source and I'm not writing code. It feels fun. Let me test my audio. Parallel. All right, where are we? Okay. Pydantic Zod. All right, all right. Let me show you alternative. Yeah, okay. 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 That's definitely better now that I've seen them both. Variable chaining. Right. Nope. Good suggestion, but nope. With? Ooh. Yeah, and with? Yeah. CF as with Chatfield dot type as CF. Or I could say CF dot type. CF dot field. That's actually not. Actually, the with statement's kind of neat. Okay, variable naming, instances not types. Done. Okay, thank you. And then what else was our conversation? My recommendation pipe. Where are we with Zod? Come here, Zod. Pipe. Here we go. Great question. I ask great questions. What position are you applying for? Variable naming. Okay, done. LangGraph uses Pydantic for state management and Zod for TypeScript. Here's my analysis. Current simple dict approach. Python, right? TypeScript, plain object. Oh. Okay. Fine. A record? And then roles. Okay. And Pydantic Zod. So a field def. Oh, interesting. But Zod, okay. And then what would Zod do? Z.string. I see. Yikes. Okay, Z.infer. Type of interview schema. Okay. Yikes. Interview schema.parse. So what's this data? What? We use Pydantic Zod for the internal schema. Keep the builder API simple. Python with Pydantic. Okay. Yeah. Let's not. Okay. Okay. Great. Let's rule out re-implementing the like interview objects to use Pydantic or Zod. Done. Now what? What is this class method? Oh, builder. Used Pydantic for the internal schema. Class interview. Right, here's the model dump. So this is it actually telling me to do it for the internal schema, but keep the... Oh, I don't care about the internal schema for the moment. I'm not going to have bugs on schema or like, data shape issues yet. I mean, these bugs will arise and there are many kinds of, bugs like that will happen. I'm postponing some disciplined work But we're just going to have lots of other bugs first before we ever get to those sorts of bugs. For example, the first bug right now is it doesn't exist. So I think I don't. It's not a priority. So wonderful. So I don't care about this. Good. Okay. So let's return to a universal builder like API or DX that is as similar as possible in Python and TypeScript, right? Okay. Quick question. I find your with idea intriguing, but can TypeScript do anything either syntactically similar, or else like similar looking as a human reading source code, right? Boom. Off you go. I don't know if I'm just enjoying this, but I don't know if I'm enjoying just uh thinking my own thoughts and more or less talking to myself. Am I enjoying this just on a like selfish level? But I think the answer is no. I think the language models are actually, I think a great use case besides coding with these language models is language design. I think that's for kind of obvious reasons if you think about it. I think asking this thing to help design a language or an API surface or something like that is I do think that's one of the more valuable, basically completely new things these language capabilities these language models are bringing us. I wouldn't be able to think it through like this way. I would, yeah. So I may have to sneeze. Okay, builder function with callback. Closest visual match. Oh, whew. Right. Callback. You pass a callback. Yeah, okay. Python equivalent for consistency. Whew, no. Whoa, no. That's funny. And a returned. Whoo. Okay. Thank you. It's a real-time advice. It's not good advice. Next. Method chaining. No, I don't like this. No. This is not syntactic sugar. CF equals chef. No. Woo, no. 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 Option 3. Fluent with line breaks. What? Yeah, TypeScript, of course. Yeah, fluent. Okay, so that's option 3. Option 2 is definitely gross. Option 1 is gross. I mean, it's kind of gross, although that's an extremely, like this used to happen in a lot of Node.js code I wrote. Get a little callback thing. Okay, don't like it. I feel like writing Jake or one of those builders that use JavaScript, Jake or Gulp or Grunt or one of those. I've used them all. Did this anyway. Okay. We're staying with. No. It's not about stay. We must implement something. Callback is closest visual match. We definitely don't like method chaining. This is awful. And here we just do line breaks. Chatfield.type. Yeah. I love it. Option 3 is awesome. I mean, it almost seems like there's a subroutine in Claude Code. At some point, it asks itself, has the time come for me to present N options to the user and to make a recommendation of one of those options and to explain why? I feel like it happens very often. I ask it a kind of a question and it answers me in the same format, which is I've compiled a list of advice. So here's option 1 to you, here's option 2, and so on. And then it always recommends a particular one and it explains why. I wonder if that's a lesson to learn. You know, a phrase I hear that I've heard thousands of times in my mind, just from a little podcast comment from John Siracusa, where he said talking about Google making Google Maps and Google Street View. He said Google doesn't work smarter and they don't work harder. Google works smarter and harder, meaning they built all this computing techniques and also drove automobiles on every road in the United States and so on. And I think that's so true. And so what that would imply is that someone took a lot of trouble to make this kind of little dance that I'm learning to dance with Claude Code. And I think I've seen it in Claude also. So it may just be trained into the language model. But I believe Claude Code's a massive tool. It's doing something like this. You know, there's a tool call, you might say, and it's called a tool and it's done all of this. The reason I'm thinking this through, besides just being off track, is the main goal, a big goal of mine in this project is to really observe Claude Code operate and to learn lessons and to draw architectural inspirations and inspirations on approach from not just language models and coding tools, but from Claude Code specifically. What in the world is going on in that 9 megabytes of compiled JavaScript? That's what I want to find out, of course, in a proper way, respecting everyone's intellectual property. I want to find out what's going on. So let's find out. So that's perfect. We're doing Universal Fluent. All right. Whoops. So now we have to, doesn't matter. I'll just say Universal Fluent is perfect. Now, what other conversations have we got unresolved? Okay, so a question on my mind is, will there be decorators, Python decorators? And possibly I could make Python decorators, Python only. It could be just not supported in JavaScript for a while because my goal is to ship this. And this is this is shippable. It's not as beautiful as my older ideas, but it has the virtue of existing and being real code with tests and things. So that's great. All right, off we go. Yeah, field proxy subclasses. I don't want to think about that for a second. Dynamic interview modification. We covered here. We didn't discuss the implementation details. Okay, wonderful. So dynamic interview modification. Okay, I know exactly what I want for dynamic interview modification. It won't change much implementation. We don't much implemented now, just capturing it in the data model, in the interviewer models and interactions, right? I see this, right? Let's just say boom, boom. Ooh, I wonder if I could teach myself to strike the backspace and the new line character in a. Oh no, it didn't work. Stop. If I could teach myself to to new line. Like some sort of video game speedrunner. All right. I see this. What do I see? There must introduce a whole new concept of hidden fields in an interview and hidden traits. Wait, would it just be hidden? And hidden traits? Correct. And hidden traits for Alice and Bob. This can't be the first line. There needs to be there needs to be an implementation. I'm about to say these hidden fields will trigger a rebuild. So I think either somehow we want easy language to do something inspired, but not in spirit, not necessarily every detail, by prototype inheritance in JavaScript, right? Right. It needn't look like or even deeply like, what am I trying to say? Harken back to JavaScript. But instead, we want an easy way to say this new object is a derivative, right? Is a derivative of this new object foo, right? Is a derivative of existing object bar in these ways, right? So then, and let's just zoom in on the, I know what I want to see. Interview object first. It's just mostly just pure data, less like complex, less code, whatever. I don't have to explain myself. It's not my job to explain myself. Okay, let's just zoom in on the interview object first. I'm literally explaining everything I do word for word aloud to no one. And what I'm saying is I decline to explain myself. All right. Let's just zoom in on the interview object first. Yeah, because the point is, okay, we want easy language to do something inspired in spirit by prototype inheritance. It didn't look like or even harken back to JavaScript, but we want an easy way to say this new object foo is a derivative existing in these ways. Okay, and then like practically speaking, you know, because the common use case, because the common like use case will be hot swapping an interview, right? Interview in the middle of the application code's main UI loop. Because the common use case, the point is the new interview foo should naturally continue, right? Stop it. From bar example, define fields remain defined, casted, etc. Right? Is casted a word? I'll just say typecasted, whatever. Okay. Should naturally continue from bar state, but also reflect any changes or diffs somehow defined by this prototype, or what am I trying to say? Mutate. What is it? I'm trying to say like Erlang. Oh, I know what I want to say. By perhaps Erlang. Philosophy of making modified copies of what am I trying to say? Immutable data, immutable objects, I'll say. And perhaps prototype inheritance, right? All right. I don't know. I think diminishing returns on this prompt, reflect any changes or diffs somehow defined by this prototype, or, what am I trying to say? Cloned, modified copy. Process, or whatever. Okay, but also reflect any changes or diffs somehow defined by this. So in principle, they could say, I don't know. A major use case, I think this should drive, which we, must first record as a GH issue, is a hypothetical trip, like date, what am I trying to say? Like a hypothetical menu, event menu. Event menu. Interview. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Maybe even better. Appetizer, drink, etc. Right. Hypothetical event, hypothetical. Let's just say food, or oh yeah, let's simplify it. I know exactly what I want. Like dinner, dinner, hypothetical. Okay, as a GitHub issue is an example. I'm gonna tell it to make me an example. A major use case which should drive, which you must record in a GitHub issue. An example interview object to collect a diner's order, restaurant order, right? Starter. Yeah. Starter. Is appetizer and starter same thing? I don't know. You make up a good range, please. A major. Okay, to collect a diner's restaurant order. And so right, you make up I know what I'm trying to say. Starter, appetizer, drink. Starter, appetizer, drink, etc. Please makeup fields please make up, stop it, useful relevant fields. Restaurant order, a diner's restaurant order, choosing from a set of options. That's the point. And when the diner discloses, and when Bob, interview to collect Bob's type, what is it, role? What was I saying to say? Trait? No, type a diner. Restaurant diner, right? Of type, right? Restaurant order. Okay, whatever. I think it understands. I'm getting sick of this. I don't like prompting. When I'm in the mood for coding, I don't like prompting. Sometimes I enjoy prompting, but when I'm in the mood for coding, I sort of don't enjoy prompting. Okay. I feel like if this were code, it would be full of bugs almost every word or two. It's unclear what correct looks like and blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's keep going. So, and when the diner when Bob discloses, but upon Bob disclosing he is a vegan, like what happens? I know what I'm saying. The converse, like the the interviewer, would it acknowledge that naturally? Would acknowledge that naturally. And the remainder of the interview would, reflect that. And the remainder of the interview would reflect that fact, right? I want a note for future. What? I mean, so there's sort of the easy way to implement that and the hard way to implement that. God, why does it do that? There's the easy way to implement that, the hard way. I want to note. Please note. I want the testing system to run this and confirm absolutely no. I want the reason is this is an easy one to test that it's correct, because the polite, like professional or like human way to respond if someone says there's vegan is for the next 5 minutes, you never even offer, animal options because they explained already. And so as an engineer, the number is 0. If I run this thing 100 times in 100 variations, but in all of them, the menu has animal products and Bob discloses that he is vegan, if I run 100 or 100,000 of these, runs with different random behavior, in 0 of them, I want to see any mention of meat or animal products. I want 0 mistakes. That would be, I mean, if these things are $billion software which have PhD level knowledge, I would expect, a PhD, like, normally operating human would, let's say 0 times in 1,000, be told someone's vegan and then ask if they want animal products. And I expect the same performance from the LLM. So what I'm trying to say is in the future, zero like violations of, hearing Bob is vegan, but then asking about meat, animals, products again. Okay, so please note, no, I know what I'm going to do. It's not going to be note to self. Please make another ticket. Whatever, longer term in the future, not longer term in the past. I want a test suite. Okay. All right, that's everything I think about Alice or about this dang language. So I want to talk a little bit about implementation. Introduce a whole new concept. Okay, so implementation, right? Introduce a whole new concept of hidden fields for an interview and hidden traits for Alice and Bob. Hidden fields are very simple. For now, we just track that they are hidden in the data model. Create a GitHub ticket issue, reminding me to implement actually prompting this concept into the LLM, into the interviewer, you might say, system prompt. All right. Now what? Create a GitHub issue reminding me to implement, right? Prompting into the system prompt. I'm not sure that's English, but whatever. Implement. Yeah. Reminding me to implement. But for now, the data definition in Chatfield is fine. Okay, so keep going. So now what are we doing? Hidden fields. For fields, okay, and so then the point is, okay, let me think. I need to think. Maybe I'll go to my whiteboard. I need to think. I believe the question is, well, let me finish the easy stuff before I think. What's on my mind is, I think there should be some support for kind of automatically changing the interview object and potentially soon the interviewer. Change the interview definition or change, not so much change the state. I don't care about that just yet. That'll be fine. Maybe this could come. I should actually explain what right. Oh my God. Is it gone? I need to pause my YouTube. Pause. Okay, it's right here in front of me on YouTube. My head's in the way. I believe it's gone. If you press down on a prompt you're working on, it's gone. I know no way to get a prompt back. Are you ready to watch me type as fast as I can? I have the prompt right in front of me in my YouTube where I'm checking my audio. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I don't know I believe if you press down, you lose your prompt. In Claude Code. Am I crazy? Down, down. Left. Okay. I'm gonna just copy my code. I have my prompt right up here on my YouTube that I'm monitoring. Let's just go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Exactly what I want for dynamic. Let's time it. 33. Interview modification. We don't need much implemented now. Come on. Just capturing it all in the interviewer models and interactions. I see this, colon, boom, boom. All right, off we go. Let's just zoom in on the interview object first. I have no idea. I believe just pressing the down arrow destroys your prompt in Claude Code. Okay, off we go. We want easy, come on, language to do something inspired in spirit. Choose, this is such a long prompt. Not necessarily every detail by perhaps Erlang's philosophy. Oh God, I'm so wordy. Philosophy. Marking modified copies of immutable objects and perhaps prototype inheritance. Yes, totally. It needn't look like or even deeply harken back to JavaScript. Come on. But rather we want an easy way to say this is the new object foo, a derivative of existing object bar, right? Which we love in these ways. I'll close that. Is that right? Close. Because the common use case, yes, exactly. Smart thinking. Will be hot swapping an interview in the mid conversation, right? Right. Oh, in the middle of an app's main UI loop, something like that. I lost my place. A new interview should naturally continue from bar state, example defined fields, remain defined. What else? What else happens to defined fields? Typecasted, etc. Yes. In other words, just copy that dict, but also reflect any changes. What am I trying to say? Or diffs defined by this prototype process or modified copy process. Wonderful. A major use case. Okay. This must drive, which you must record as a GitHub issue, is an example interview to collect Bob's, a diner type, restaurant order, choosing from a set of options among whatever starter, whatever appetizer. I'll skip appetizer. I could have typed it by now. Drink. And please make up a nice variety to show the example clearly, right? All right, better prompting. Now what? Appetizer. And then what? But upon, oh no, hey, why my computer pause? My computer paused. No, we can't have a computer pausing. Okay. Oh, I see, because I paused YouTube. Right. Okay, upon Bob disclosing he is vegan, the interviewer acknowledges, right? What am I trying to say? That in a natural way, and the remainder of the conversation reflects that fact. That was my point. Okay. Naturally would reflect that fact. Please also make another GH issue, I'll say. Is that right? For example, to collect Bob's restaurant, reflect that fact. Yes, we're almost done. Referencing the former about a longer term feature goal. Okay, which is what? Which is that the test suite could run the above conversation many times, and exactly 0 would slip up and ask about animal products after the vegan disclosure, right? Okay. That's it. Wonderful. Implementation. Introduce. This is awesome. I'm bored. What is that? 33? Oh god, I've been typing for 6 minutes. A whole new concept of hidden fields for an interview. The hidden traits and hidden traits. For Alice and Bob are simple. Hidden fields are simple. For now, just track the definition in the Chatfield data model. Create a git issue to actually make the system prompt reflect these new concepts. All right, what else? Interviewer system prompt, whatever. Okay. Whew! That's about all I got. All right, that took me 7 minutes. I lost 7 minutes. That was stupid. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Let me fast forward. That was boring. Oh, whatever. Wonderful. All right, I think we're done enough. Back to normal. Oh my god. Whew. Implementation. Interview a whole new concept of hidden fields for an interview. Hidden traits for Alice and Bob. All right. Now I gotta get back into it. Now I gotta enjoy myself. I get a better mood. That soured my mood having lost my prompt. I believe that typing the down arrow destroys your prompt. Maybe it's a user error. All right. So the thing, a hidden field would be like vegan, yes or no, maybe, or is that a hidden trait? It'd be a hidden trait about Bob. The problem is traits have no concept of like Boolean at the moment. Or maybe they're active or inactive, you know. Maybe the Boolean is hidden. They're either present or not present, right? So they're hidden traits. Hidden traits for Alice and Bob. You're welcome to think of a better name. You're welcome to recommend. Okay. A huge use case is to model how humans work. If you tell me something, yeah, right. I know exactly what I'm trying to say. Often, I want to know things from you, but for some reason, but I have reason, yeah, but for some reason, I do not want to disclose that I do not want to disclose that I am, often I want to know things from you, but for some reason, I do not want to disclose that it is on my mind, right? Or discuss it. I will just, if it never comes up. Oh, do we also need to implement. No. There's no such thing as an optional field. No. That's old stuff. There's definitely no such thing as an optional field. You can make a new model which doesn't have the field, but you can't have an optional field. That's not a thing. If a person says it's not important, then that fact is an important fact to put into a computer. Jason said this field is not important. That's an important piece of information that belongs somewhere. So we're good. Okay. I remember it. So let's say I'll say it as an interviewer, right? As an interviewer, I want to know things from you, but for some reason I do not want to disclose or discuss it. If it ever comes up, I remember, but if it doesn't come up, I decide, I conclude, I did not get a read. What am I trying to say? But if it doesn't come up, I conclude, I quietly remember it as inconclusive, right? Right. So one example, use cases might be, a Boolean of like, might be in a job interview context, right? Come here, stop it. In a job interview context, a Boolean tracking if the candidate says anything like unethical, right? And it's, if the candidate raises any values, let's say, right, concerns, values, concerns, or ethics concerns, right? Correct behavior would be to proceed, as needed, and to quietly set that to true without mentioning it, without asking or mentioning it, right? Whatsoever. What else is a use case? I was thinking vegan. Maybe vegan. The problem with vegan is that's a trait about Bob. It's not that it's inconclusive. It's I interpret. Stop. Why does it lag like that? It lags. I don't know why. Stop lagging. Stop lagging. Stop lagging. It's completely lagged. Oh my god, I want to copy my prompt. And before I lose it, I'm terrified of losing my prompt again. I don't want to press. Okay. Okay. But if it doesn't come up. Oh man, stop it. I'm having backspace bugs in Claude Code here. Conclusions. Internally. Let's say, in my mind. Okay. All right, I want to send this prompt. I'm getting terrified. Use cases might be in a job interview context. Are there any other use cases? So what about a hidden field as a field as opposed to a trait? Or a vegan trait for a diner is perfect. Uh, yeah, I guess, or I know what I'm trying to say. Or perhaps there's a field for dietary restrictions. God, this prompt is. I gotta send this prompt. This prompt is driving me crazy. I gotta quit this Claude Code. I think. Um. 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 But the interviewer does not explicitly, right, ask, you know, does not explicitly ask outright, right? It is not the case that it is quite rare for I think for an interviewer, for a waiter in a restaurant, a waiter or a waitress in a restaurant to um to begin by asking about dietary restrictions. Um, I'm not 100% clear, but I think because traits have no type, maybe somehow they either appear or do not appear as listed traits for Alice and Bob in the system prompts, right? In other words, they are potential traits I want to track, and they activate um you know regarding Alice, Bob, or I guess, and they activate regarding Bob based on his statements about himself, right? Implied. Right, exactly. That's the point. Bob wants to talk about himself. We should have space for Bob to talk about himself. Um, in fact, like I could imagine it would even be like you could allow this to be, rather than explicit, just implicit, to just say like, if Bob, in fact, let me just make that. Let's make, oh, make it GitHub issue. Let's not implement it. That the interviewer should be able to arbitrarily, right, update Bob, or let's say Alice. Oh God, I have to use the arrows. Arrows and backspace. Wait, do arrows work? Arrows work. That Alice should be able to arbitrarily update traits about Bob if, like, traits about Bob, or perhaps within some, like, space, right? Or perhaps within some, like, space. What I'm trying to say is, such as, you know, baseball, example, baseball position, or role in a, what am I trying to say? Example, baseball position, or role within an educational, right? Or role in a school district. Alice should be able to arbitrarily, if so, like allowed, you know, if so allowed by the developer. Oh God, I have to send this. It's getting worse. Um, initialization, a config property, allowing okay. Whew. Do I think anything else? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this prompt. I'm sending it. Oh, I gotta quit this. I gotta quit Claude Code when this is done too. This is too much. All right. I think I haven't even finished explaining what I want. I believe this is good though, because where this is going is going to be very straightforward to implement in both languages. I think this is paying dividends. I feel like I've been in here writing that prompt for ages. Yeah, let me just, I think one fix is to do this. Wow, look at all this. Whoo, hold on, I need to scroll. Come here. All right, nice. What are we doing? GitHub issue create, yes, please. Can't I? Okay, we're doing it. Create some issues for me, please. Oh, it made a plan, and I think I lost the plan. What is it? Control R? There it is. Oh, that's fine. That's good enough. That's good enough. All right, we're doing more. Yeah. Wait, it's asking me every time to create a GitHub issue. It's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. So if we go look at our tests, or our issues rather. Cool. Yeah, exactly. Soup of the day. Totally. Right. And then, right. Exactly. And so then, yes, thank you. Right. Exactly. Natural conversation. It's $1 billion computer built to have a conversation. I expect cashew cheese pasta. Wait, is that vegan? Cashew cheese? I expect oat milk latte advice from my barista, right? Hi, I'm vegan. What can you do for latte? Oat milk. Definitely. Yes. Okay, that's good enough to remind me. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is perfectly good enough to remind me. Syntax doesn't need to be perfect. Wonderful. I'm not even going to read it. That's awesome. Uh, and then what is this? Oh, yeah. And I wrote another ticket to remind me. I want to explicitly put that in the test suite to say run it 100 times. And I want 100 out of 100 to get it right. It seems like an easy one to get started in this probabilistic testing world. That's the point. Oh my God. Come on, make some tickets. Oh, I gotta... Whew, I hope this needs to pay dividends. This took me a long time to write. I think it will. I think it's about to output a plan to change some code here. Oh, go. Tickets. Love it. Ticket 6, ticket 7. Hidden fields. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, let's just read hidden fields. Right. Oh, hidden field. Why not a as hidden, right? No. Okay, I want it as hidden. I think. Oh, no, I don't. Because that's a casting. No, it's more like a requires. It's I know exactly what I want to do. It's more like the hint. It's like the hint. The hidden field should be like sibling or parallel to the .hint, .must, and .reject stuff. Because hint, right. Derive. So let's see. Yeah, we got derivations now. We're starting to get to modified. Oh, I don't know if I love this, but I don't really care about the derive stuff yet. Let's get that out of scope. Now that I'm seeing the advice, this is just super straightforward implementation stuff. I don't think it's interesting at the moment. Restaurant order that adapts to vegan disclosure. Right. Server, diner. So here's a field. This is totally the opposite of what I asked for. Starter, main course. Hidden field and latent traits. Ooh, latent traits. I like that. Latent traits. Latent. Good word. So Bob is a candidate with a latent trait. Cool. Right. So there's hidden field and then there's Bob. Detail oriented. When? Maybe. Okay, maybe. When? Yeah, or like just condition or something. Yeah, when. It's almost like if. I guess when. We could fix it. Better name suggestion. Instead of hidden and latent, internal fields or tracked fields. No. I like hidden fields. And do I like latent? For some reason, I like latent traits. Do I like latent traits better than I like the orthogonality of saying hidden fields, hidden traits? I like hidden traits. I like latent. It was a wonderful love affair with latent, but I think we're going hidden. So these are hidden fields and hidden traits. Hidden fields and hidden traits. Hidden follows the same pattern as must, reject, and hint. Now, okay, so next, I think like like hint. Ideally, hidden. Do you have to say why? No, right? Yeah. What I'm asking myself, I'm staring at the screen thinking, is a hidden field. Do I need to pass a string into this hidden field to explain something as a developer? Is a string needed? And I'm starting to think it makes no sense to pass a string into there at all. I want to just say this field is hidden, and then I want to, whoa. And then I want to, yeah, there you go, dot hidden. Perfect. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, wow. Good. Wow. Good, mm-hmm. Good example. Communication score, red flags, goals. Right. Reject vague aspirations. Okay. So, tell me about your relevant experience. I think this was, okay, assess technical expertise. So this is hidden, silently evaluated. Yes, exactly. Right. Exactly. It's just like all the others, and it's hidden. That's perfect. And I think there's no reason to pass a string into hidden. I guess, can't these fields have little descriptions? I think that's these. Oh, let me change that. Okay. I think hidden should have no arguments. I'm thinking if the developer wants to explain why a field is hidden or explain how to assess its value, what is that? That should be in its description, right? If the developer wants to explain why a field is hidden or explain how to assess its value, that should be in its description. If the developer wants to explain why a field is hidden or explain how to assess its value, that should be in its description, right? Is that the most... Secondly, related, I think dot field should have only one argument, which is the name. Is that second string just effectively shorthand for a call to dot, is it .desc or something? What is that? Let's just go look. Yeah, DESC, totally. Is the doc string. It's originally the doc string. Yeah. Let's just let it think about that. Interview.derive. I got a lot of conversations going. More complex example, technical level, dot hidden. I love it. And then Bob, Alice, and Bob could have dot hidden, right? Perfect. Oh, what is it saying? Should desk be optional? No, desk is definitely optional. All right, what are you up to? Claude Code. I'm absolutely right on both points. I get 2 points. I get 2 points. Obviously, I get 2 points. Let's make this cleaner and more consistent. Simplified API. Current, redundant. Is that redundant? I like it. For hidden fields, description explains assessment criteria. Yeah, sure. Yeah. What's interesting is like the direct quote. Yeah, I know what I want. Let me just switch over. Let's just open up another Claude. Please make a GitHub issue. Making, pulling the direct quote out of the default set of casts or Chatfield. Whoop. I want it to be quietly built in into every field. Thank you. Ooh, got some Totos. Cool. Cool. Whoa, what's going on? Oh, we're all right. So we're making GitHub issues. Thank you. Getting more. I lean towards optional language. So where were we? Was I just making spinning off work? All right. Where the heck was my last prompt? Come here, prompt. Here's the API design by. Wait, what? Immutable copy. No, this was all this. Great progress. I'm absolutely okay. Oh yeah, it's just these 2 points here. Not bad. Okay. Let's call them consistently hidden fields, hidden traits. Okay. We're doing the cleaner approach for sure. Yeah, that's perfect. Full example with consistent API. All right. Benefits of this approach. Single responsibility. Each method does one thing. Self-documenting. Description naturally explains hidden field assessment. Description naturally explains. Okay. Yes, omit description for sure for hidden traits. Right. Is it hidden? I feel like is it hidden or is it optional? I'm back. Hidden trait suspicious. Activated if red flag detected. But what does that mean? What are the red flags? How do you define the red flags? Hidden trait impressed. This is a terrible, like, this is a super unprofessional way to interview. If the answers are exceptional, you could say they're exceptional, you could say they're impressive, but to then change your behavior, to be an impressed person is not, I don't think, it's not the way I want an LLM. I think an LLM would do this wrong. But does he have a hidden trait, expert and junior? I think he does, right? He wants, it's like a possible trait, right? Alice.trait. It's like a possible trait. And I guess what happens is if you have a possible trait and it becomes active, no, it's fine. You can track it. You can track it. I was trying to decide: do you generate a new object with like this modified copy? I think I'm okay. Activated if exceptional answers. All right. Candidate. I don't know if I like these. Hidden trait. So it's not hidden, it's possible. Okay, I know what I'm thinking. It's not so much how is it defined. We got to talk about how does it, what's the moving parts? How does it become active? Bob.candidate.trait space. Expertise. Okay, let's set aside the trait space stuff. Great. Next. I think instead of hidden trait, I now realize I'm going to tell it, even though it told me I was brilliant the first time, I'm going to tell it I changed my mind, and it will tell me that I am brilliant for having changed my mind. Um, um, okay, hiding. So, email must. Right, professional, empathetic. So a possible trait. And I'm not sure if I would have any. For now, the implementation, okay, again, for now, the implementation can be like, what am I trying to say? Symmetric, can support Alice and Bob, but real world examples will be all about Bob. I don't need to explain myself. Okay, so now what? Email auto-generates your email. Fine, fine, fine. Yeah, just, I don't even want to talk about trait space. And then what if we do like, could we do something like this? Dot trait, you know, normal trait. And dot trait optional equals to simplify the DX, right? Let's see what it says. Oh, sorry. Let me just kill it. Possible. Maybe. This trait may. Right. So is it possible? So in that language, trait only, trait dot trait, or even dot trait dot trait possible. Conditional? No. Oh, we'll say possible. Let's see what it wants. Let's see what it thinks. All right, I don't want this trait space. That's not at all how I envisioned it. I want to just kind of tell it out. It's anything about like running a baseball team. And so you can say I'm the grounds manager or the social media intern, or I play third base. You know, but you may not say I'm I like a YouTuber fan, right? It seems like that should be easy. Okay. What does it say? Option 3, we're back in options. Yes, possible is much better semantically. I knew it. It's much better. Okay. Dot trait possible. Oh, it's giving me more options. Dot trait. Okay, definitely hate. Oh, Python and TypeScript. Okay, no, don't love it. Change method. Oh, it both works? Oh, definitely. I love the change method. I think it will too. Let's just check audio. Someone said hi, hello, hello. Oh, cool. Love it. No. Yes. Universal, intuitive, grouping, extensible. Totally. Oh, walk me through this. This looks interesting. So here's a restaurant order. It's of type restaurant order. Alice is of type server. Oh. Dot Alice is a server. I think I'm going to just make it explicit and say Alice is of type server rather than passing it in. Let's change that. Let's make, instead of, let's see, boom, instead of, what is it, dot Alice type here, it is dot Alice with nothing, and then dot type, right? To be like parallel with the DX for the fields. What else? Let's keep reading. All right. Chatfield, restaurant order. So we're going to tighten up that. It'll make it more lines of code, but I think maybe slightly. Dot trait. Mm-hmm. Trait hungry. Trait dot possible. Field. Field is vegan. Dietary preferences. Mm-hmm. Set to true if customer mentions being vegan. Yeah. In the example. Yeah. Remove the dietary preferences field. Right. So then Alice is the server, Bob's the diner. There you go. Vegan, gluten-free, budget conscious. Cool. Celebrating, but celebrating in a hurry. It's kind of neat. So at least Boolean, you could kind of. It's just basically a Boolean. These are these are predicates as I see it. These are sort of predicates. Is vegan, is gluten free. I don't know if I like that. I guess I do. I think I do because this gets back to the challenge. One of the things I want to explore is modifying a system prompt. Um, or actually either, yeah, basically updating a system prompt, both inserting new system prompts in the middle of the conversation. So can I sort of be the voice of God and, for example, say, hey, from now on Bob is vegan, and act accordingly as a system prompt, and then that's an update midstream in the conversation. There's a new system prompt message in the array of messages. Or secondly, of three, just modify the state and go back and change the system prompt from the original conversation. These things are stateless. I must pass in an array of previous messages in the conversation, and then the LLM will continue the conversation. And so, what if I just go back and modify the system prompt and say, Bob's vegan? And then the conversation may mention meat, and then Bob will say, oh, no, thank you, I'm vegan. But it's a better, I still feel that modifying that system prompt, even if it implies kind of weird conversation history, I think that would improve the just total behavior of Chatfield. Ultimately, I think that would, telling the LLM in a system prompt, even if it's wacky, going back and updating a conversation that's been in flight for a while, and then sort of retrospectively, retconning in, oh, Bob is vegan. I still believe, the LLM will not complain about retconning, and I believe it will improve Chatfield. I believe Chatfield will behave really well with things like that. Okay, let's get out of what I believe and let's keep it. So, so I guess possible, this is fine. And then fields are hidden. So traits are possible and fields are hidden. During the conversation, if vegan is mentioned, no. If vegan in response. Oh, this is awful. I don't like this. Set hidden. No, I don't like that at all. Okay. Next, in the example, yeah, they check for vegan. Let's remove all that. During the conversation, if vegan is mentioned, let's remove the dot. For now. Right. The question is, would the conversation update? Yeah, the conversation's meant to be the thing about derived state is, the conversation is openly intended to be a fundamentally modifiable, mutable object, or the user's supposed to just check, are these fields populated, and they just magically populate conveniently. And so um, the immutable thing, I mean, the only thing is it's stored in state, and LangGraph serialize these. LangGraph, freezes and pickles these things and stores them in state. Oh, and because it's a build, no, because it's a dot build. Right. Right. So dot vegan is, I see what you're doing. You're activating traits. Set hidden is not needed. Uh-huh. Trait dot possible vegan. I know what I want. I want a description for how to ascertain, as usual. Dot trait hungry. Let's, okay, yeah. So next, what I don't like, what do I not like? Oh, for, yeah, for all traits, for all fields. What is the point? For all fields, trait dot possible. For all, no, for both dot trait dot possible, there should be an optional second argument explaining to the LLM how to ascertain, or how best to think about, right? The trait. Wait, trait? Yeah, Bob. No, that's wrong. It's just for trait dot possible. Come on, Control A. Perfect. Wonderful. What else do I think? Universal, identical syntax and both. Okay, restaurant order. Welcoming, knowledgeable. We've got some possible. Right. And the point is, they just, right. And the implication, we will not do, but the implication is the interviewer will just quietly activate the activate a possible trait on the basis of the LLM response indicating so, right? And then the interviewer will just quietly activate a possible trait on the basis of the LLM response indicating so. We will not do implementation. Okay. My daughter's singing K-pop Demon Hunters in the other room. I want to dance. Okay. Response. Okay. Right. Wonderful. Now what? Bob is a diner who's hungry. Traits can activate. Vegan, gluten-free, possible traits. So traits. Yeah, I definitely like separating versus possible traits in the lower level, like JSON, right? Because I'm unsure if the implementation will no, the implementation must not copy. I was going to say, oh, make a copy and turn it from possible to defined. But then the problem is, if I say, I'm vegan, and then they say, great, and they mark it vegan, and then I say, no, sorry, my name is vegan and I love steak. A professional server would laugh at that horribleness, like that basically rude thing to say. And and then know on you know that they're not effectively vegan in this circumstance. In fact, that should be another unit test. I definitely like separating traits versus possible traits in lower level JSON. The implementation will need to activate or deactivate them somehow. Like we'll need to track, activate, deactivate of them somehow. Create this GitHub issue to remember this use case. Diner says, I am vegan. Server says, you know, great. Server acknowledges. Right, acknowledges. Then Diner says, server acknowledges and sets the flags accordingly, right? Then Diner says, I mean, my name is vegan, but I mean only that my name, but I wish to hear your steak, you know, choices, right? Your steak options. The server should rightly deactivate the vegan, right, information. Okay, we're going to capture that as a ticket. Should be easy to implement. Okay. Do I think anything else? I think I'm ready to send that .hidden.as bool. Oh, and so then this .hidden, yeah, .hidden. No, the description, right. Totally fine. I love it. I love it. I think that's all I need to say. What is this? Activate traits? I don't want this derive stuff. Go. To model uncertainty. The system prompt would then include Bob is a diner who is hungry and vegan versus initially just Bob is a diner who is hungry. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's definitely true. Thank you for the GitHub ticket. Superb progress. Oh, wait, I wrote that. Uh-huh. Wonderful. Remove the dietary preferences field to simplify. Remove the derived call from examples. Add an optional second argument for LLM guidance. LLM guidance, thank you. Create a GitHub issue about the my name is vegan. The my name is vegan edge case. Yes, the my name is vegan edge case. Thank you. I think this thing's gonna work. Are we gonna finish? Don't know. But when it's finished, will it be awesome? Definitely yes. All right, updated the API. So this is the dual language API. Chatfield.type restaurant order. Alice is a server who is welcoming and knowledgeable, whatever. Bob is a diner who is hungry. Yeah. Trait.possible vegan. Right. Let's just remove gluten-free budget okay, yes, let's remove. Or great. What else? It's not additive. Budget conscious is slightly interesting. Celebrating and in a hurry. Hurry. Okay. This is going to become the new like test runner, I think. Field.isVegan. Set true if customer confirms a vegan diet. Yeah. Oh. Updated API. Okay. Remove the vegan name edge case from the example. let's zoom in on shipping in both languages, right? Okay, so now what? Something working in both languages, right? Almost pressed the down arrow. I'm terrified now. Okay. Correct, Bob. Yes, possible traits. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Active, false, guidance. Okay, let's do that. That's fine. It's going to have to be like that eventually. That's fine. Because these are this is object level information, not class level information, so that's perfectly fine. Culture fit, wait, what? Oh, the job interview example. Right. So is vegan. Oh, so vegan actually doesn't make sense as a field in the restaurant order. We don't need that. We just don't need that. Is vegan as a restaurant order field. It's a what is it called? Trait. No. Perfect. Now what else? I'm going to make it output this as actual programs to run and to test. Starter, correct. In fact, let's update the starters and the main so that there is only one vegan option each. I know it's unfortunate for the vegan diet, for the vegan server. Right. I don't want these. What else? No more need for vegan as a restaurant or field. It's a trait now. Okay, I'm sick of these server traits. Doesn't help. Or sorry, this is a hiring manager. So server is vegan. I said no is vegan. So starter and main course. Oh, I know. Make it. There is only one vegan option for starter and same for main course, so that being vegan implies the entire order, right? It's not a great vegan restaurant, but it's a great AI agent. It's a great AI agent. The AI agent, the language model, should say, oh, well, if you're vegan, your order must be this starter and this main. That's perfect. I like it. It's the perfect size. I like how it's two of them. Wonderful. How about job interview? What do we care? That's fine. Professional, encouraging. So Bob's a candidate, might be senior level, might be a career changer. That's kind of neat. The problem is, right. I think I know what I want to do. Let me think. I think I know exactly what I want. Instead of, I think I know exactly what I want. I want, I want to ascertain these traits. For now, I think some traits happen hot from one statement. You know, if someone says, and then I stole money from my employer, that would be an instant, quote that I would say, oh, that's like a red flag. Where is it in here? Culture fit. See this, I don't know if this field, that's not a good field. That would be okay, I'm going to tell Bob that. Okay. I know what I want. So senior level. So for Bob, for a job, Bob removes senior, what was that, seniority level or whatever? Senior level. What else? So career, for job interview, Bob, remove senior level to reflect like instant like information versus like end of conversation summary information, right? Remove senior level. So let's see, career changer. Make career changer. Second argument be like what? The point, it's like upon, right? Or it's when, right? When equals the description. Keyword arg. When equals, right? So that's when. Or it's like upon, right? Or let's just say trigger. Let's say trigger. Trigger equals description. And then what I want to do is I want to say summary. Summary. So like career changer. So senior level would be like trigger. Overqualified. Nervous. Let's say well prepared. Let's say well prepared, right? So for the job interview, remove, right? Make career changer second argument be keyword arg trigger equals make well prepared be keyword arg summary equals description. That's the point. Oh no, stop it. Summary equals description. Oh no, don't tell me I lost it again. Thank you, thank you. Whew. Summary equals description. And the others, remove the others, right? Okay, for job interview, Bob shows me. I guess if the parameter, the caller does not, if the caller passes a second string with keyword args, if the caller passes a second string, that is trigger type semantics, not summary, right? Right, summary equals, or like summarize, trigger equals blah, summarize. Yeah. Good. Wonderful. That's what I want about Bob. Technical assessment. So then experience. Fine. Let's get rid of technical assessment. Because culture fit is also, let me think. Oh, I see. The only thing is if I say it's hidden, it's going to be truly hidden. A trait might not be hidden. That's a little problem. So that's a summary. Right. If Bob said, hey, what is my well-preparedness trait? You know, Alice would disclose that. So they're not possible. They're hidden. I'm switching back. The reason is I want the developer to understand that Alice will not disclose this stuff to Bob. Yeah. It's not just that, you know, he says I'm vegan. You know, yes, I'm going to do that. It's not that it's possible, but it's confidential, right? Field.confidential, hidden. Instead of hidden, I'm going to change them both to confidential. Okay. My latest strong opinion is both fields and traits should be .confidential rather than hidden or possible to communicate to the developer that the agent, that Alice, in both cases, Alice will not disclose it. Wow. Wonderful. What else do I think? So that's job interview. Oh, please just drop the technical assessment. Yeah. Drop assessment field. What else? Oh, culture fit. So it'll be .confidential. Oh shoot, is confidential for the phone call? No, it's fine. It's fine. Freaking out. Assess fit with the company values. Off we go. Okay. This is not great because this is not populated by like cultural fit is also a bad. Yeah. Cultural fit is also a bad example. I'm going to say change cultural fit to values concerns, which is confidential, and LM guidance is, you know, the user mentions anything like violating our, you know, our values or policies, right? Let's try that. That's like literally more what it would be. And I would want that as a door. Oh, and also, and make it whatever. Whatever. Okay, let's keep going. I think that's about it. Implementation structure. So then these possible traits, they become confidential traits. And they're either active or not. Vegan. Guidance. Oh, change guidance. The internal object key from guidance to DSC to be parallel, to be orthogonal. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Can't remember. Ah, it's enough. Get to work. Whew. I thought I was done and I wrote 50 changes. Let's rock and roll. I also have ice water. I think I should actually pause this and participate in my family. I think I'm just gonna leave this and maybe just end the stream, and then I'll just carry on the stream. I'm just gonna leave it as is and just visit my family a little on this Saturday. Today's been an explicit like Saturday like this. And then I want to ship this in both languages. This should be quite implementable in both languages. It's simple. No, we're not doing decorators anymore. It's simple. It's basically the same thing that I liked. I got a little cheeky and I'm adding in these possible traits. When the trait activates, the only valid choices become job interview. So the restaurant order, but why it's not possible. It's .confidential. API rules for .trait .possible. Explicit trigger, same as above, but clearer. Summarize. Yeah. Whoa. Oh, ouch. Ouch. Is that how you have to do TypeScript? Whew. I don't like that. I could do dot. Could be a possible trigger and a possible summary. Possible trigger, possible summary. Or a confidential trigger and a confidential summary. Let's change it. Okay, no more no more possible language. Consolidate everything on confidential. Possible traits. Values, concerns. I think because TypeScript looks kind of ugly, I don't like passing. Next, because I don't like passing objects in TypeScript, this may be my personal problem. Could we have for both traits and no. A trait would never need a summary. A trait would never need a summary. Yeah. Because a summary is at the end of a conversation, so what's the point of tracking a trait? And, you know, let's just stick it in the data model as a summary of the above of the other fields. I think that's perfectly fine. So next, confidential traits are only triggers, not summary. Both are only triggers, not summary. Confidential traits. Specs. Alice won't disclose to Bob. Values, concerns. Correct. Confidential, true, yeah. Fields. Specs. That's fine. So then trait.possible. Sure, it should just be trait.confidential. Yeah. .trait.confidential. You know, for example, you know, mentions you know, mentorship, right? Mentoring. Mentor, right? Would I want to track that as a trait? Or would that be a field? Let's keep going. Yeah. Yeah. Because I want this confidential stuff. I know exactly one more like less like weird, you know, weird subterfuge thing is I want the model to infer someone's, for example, technical competency. And so if we want to talk about APIs, you know, I want it to, just like a human, confidentially ascertain, oh, this is a novice user, this is an advanced user, and then just naturally adjust the language, adjust the conversation accordingly. And that's where all this is going, is I want the model to you know, track, you know, advanced user or something. So it's like professional mentoring junior colleagues, right? Mention, right? Something like that. Not summary. You know, has mentored colleagues. Right? Any mention Any like gives specific evidence. Geez, I'm gonna make this thing this thing could be a decent job interviewer, actually. Give specific evidence of professionally mentoring junior colleagues, right? Or, what was I saying? Advanced, advanced domain knowledge. Any mentions, demonstrates knowledge of, like, whatever, demonstrates detailed knowledge of our, company, product line, right? Something like that. Both of which would help the LM make subsequent message, right? Okay. Everything is confidential. I'm not sure I still love it, but whatever. You could have I guess the question is, do I want a possible trait and a confidential trait? And I think the answer is no. Let me actually think. Do I want to make traits be confidential or back to possible? The advantage, the problem with making it this possible like that is because it's just prompted in there, Bob could make Alice disclose it. I mean, I could explicitly system prompt and say it's confidential, don't disclose it. And so the implication is the developer here would say, so I think this idea of summarizing fields which summarize solves a lot of these trait confidentiality problems. So we're gonna, oh geez, I'm changing my mind again. I'm gonna go trait.possible, and they're open. There are no confidential possible traits. That's the answer. No more possible, oh shoot. So embarrassing. Okay. To clarify the language. Great. Boom. The possible language only applies to traits. All possible traits are triggered based upon mentioning, trigger based, optionally with, guidance provided based on Bob's, right, messages, right? So that's the point. So that's the possible language. There are no confidential traits. Right. There are no confidential traits. For fields, consolidate everything on confidential. Confidential traits are only triggers, not summary. I did that already. Has mentored colleagues. To get a sense of Bob in a confidential way, we simply use fields. To get a sense of Bob in a confidential way, we simply use fields. Slightly imperfect mental model, but more secure, right? Okay, so it'd be dot confidential Has mentored colleagues. Uh-huh. So you would just say, where's that? Values concerns dot confidential dot as bool. Note any mentions. Ah, so instead of description, aha. The question is it a summary? Is this, yes. Fields need a way to indicate that they're summarizations. These are like computed fields, basically. I'm basically inventing kind of computed fields, but that's okay. And for now, we're just tracking how this is going to work, so it's fine. Field concerns. Note any mentions of violating our right. So the point is, this one is an instant, right? If this were Magic the Gathering, this is an instant one. And then I want another field. Right. Change the well prepared confidential, both of which get home. Change the well prepared trait. No longer works that way, right? To be a confidential field with a new, what would I call it? So the point is, it's kind of like dot. To be a confidential field. Change the well-prepared trait to be a confidential field with a new, like on done or something, or not as summary, but right, mode is summarize. What's the point? I want to say this well prepared. Yeah, dot summary, dot summarize. Wrap up, right? Conclude. String to provide guidance. The point is, this field will be withheld from the LM during the conversation to avoid mentioning it at all. And then, but then when dot basically done is true, we will make the LM summarize the conversation and conclude final evaluations, right? Boom. I'm gonna let this think. This must be getting close. I mean, we're just talking and talking, although it is deep in language design. I feel positive though. This is while designing languages and frankly just side quests on side quests of now where these optional traits is very open sourcey, very unprofessional deadline tracking, which is fine. The point though is all along the way this has been simplifying. I think this is going to be easy to update Python to get it working and to get the TypeScript implementation without problems. In some sense, we've sort of given up on IDE. I think that's good. Cut the scope. Don't let the IDE Don't worry about that just now. This code doesn't even exist at all, so why worry about the IDE at the moment? Okay, so is this its response to me? I want to I want to take a break. Where'd my message go? Change the well-prepared trait. Okay, off. Here we go. So here's the restaurant order: diner hungry, possible vegan, possible budget conscious. Budget conscious, correct. Starter, okay, just chicken soup, Caesar salad, shrimp cocktail. Hey, I told it. Wait, does a Caesar salad have cheese? Is that what makes it not vegan? Main course, salmon, beef, chicken, and then veggie. Got it. And then job interview, hiring manager. Yeah, look, it's already happening. Spaces, candidate, career changer, mentions different industry or transferable skills, experience. Tell me about your relevant experience. Okay, whatever. So, confidential. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Cool. And then has mentored. So that's confidential. So we're not going to ask, have you ever mentored? We're just going to write it down. Mhm. Cool. Mhm. This is awesome because this could be passed into the tool prompt, the thing that prompts for the tools, but not the system prompt, so the the every time it's time to generate a message for the user, I think this is going to be awesome. That's my point. So domain knowledge is also confidential, but this needs to be dot conclude, right? Evaluated only after conversation ends, right? Field recommendation, final hiring. Geez, okay. Traits, dot trait, always true, dot trait, possible, and then trigger guidance. Totally no confidential traits. Fields, regular fields, ask directly to Bob. Confidential fields, track silently during the conversation. And conclusion fields. Yes, perfect, 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 perfect. Identical structure in TypeScript and JavaScript. I like it. I know it's just the syntax, but I think that's good. The decorators were trouble. We were multiplying problems. It's immature, it's barely even defined, much less implemented, and also all these decorators and things, and compile time versus runtime. So that's confidential. That's conclude. This is perfect. This is perfect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly right. Let's write out all of the changes we plan to make, either in a ticket, perhaps in a ticket. Then let's write code. Then let's begin implementation by modifying, what is it? Chatfield / run real API to use the new way, and also create a runner for the restaurant order and a runner for the job interview. We've what is it? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna pause and see what's going on downstairs, just because I've been here a long time. And refresh my coffee. And I'm just gonna continue. I'm just gonna press return right when I continue soon. Oh, now what? Where's my thing?